Well, this has been a long time coming. NAVI wanting to humble Donk and Spirit just a little bit. Big question now is, can Spirit bounce back? Are they going to take some time out from the server to kind of reflect on that one and head into this with fresh faces ready to defend this 3-0 run?
It was a beautiful and unbelievable game from NAVI, but every time we see Spirit lose an opening map, they respond strongly, right? We saw it in that grand final against VP at the end of the last year, going 0-2 down at BO5, sweeping the rest of the game. We see it every time Spirit lose a map, coming in with a 13-4 to respond. So will that continue, or can NAVI keep this up? It doesn't matter in this pistol because they are wiped off the slate.
Yeah, this pistol round's already over. Even though Aleksib's moving in, like, he still believes they can retake this 2v4. It's just not happening. Chopper's even got a Molotov still waiting all the way back towards the B doors. I know what he's doing with that. Yeah. He's going to look to throw that in if they get into the site.
And they've used a smoke on the cave as well. If that went on the bomb, you could deny this play, but flash over the top. Molly not even needed as they come gunning. Shiro and Donk to close. Nice double entry for Zontix as well. He was definitely a quiet piece of the puzzle for Spirit, as was Donk.
Don't leave him hanging. There we go. All right. Donk's trying to get activated. He wants to be brought back into the fold here.
Donk deniable, question mark. Donk defeatable, Harry?
I mean, I don't feel comfortable saying anything there, bro. Like, you know who he is. You know what he's done. We've all seen it. I don't know if one map's going to get under his skin.
No.
But NAVI, I mean, we remember back at Kato, Blade even did that interview where he spoke about Donk.
Okay, what did he say?
He said, undeniably, mechanically, very good player, but if you remember, he kind of gave him a bit of a knock for the attitude and the things he would scream, how he would act. And he also said he thinks Donk is counterable.
Counterable?
Yeah.
Well, NAVI showed that last map.
Said especially if you've got someone who's sharp on your team, and JL undeniably was on that last map of Nuke.
How do you do that again, though? 40 kills? 40 kills? That's not normal. 40 kills is a lot of kills. If you're new to this one, Team Spirit are going to come gunning for the rest. Should have no issue here. And, you know, we saw these guys play at that aforementioned event in Kato, and Spirit came into Ancient on T side, and they 9-3'd the first half. Yeah. So this is like Spirit's go-to. This and Mirage. That's the most shocking part to me, that NAVI want to play Mirage. Obviously, they're ready for this game. There's no doubt there. But Mirage as a finale, that is ballsy.
Yeah, I think, you know, between Aleksib and Blade on the other side, though, you've got two folks who, at least for this Ancient map that we're on right now, two people who are very, very good at going away from a game and studying the finer details and going over it with a fine-tooth comb to figure out how they can get a bit of a leg up.
If anything, that's what I want to know. Like, how do you stop him running up mid on Mirage? Like, what is your counter on that map? On Nuke, you know, they made him humble. They humbled him. They made him look scared at times.
Yeah, it felt like, you know, especially on the T half, they put so much attention towards slowing him down early that he never got his usual kind of aggro stance going.
Yeah. Stopped homing missile running towards his opponents. So here we go. Going around for NAVI. They've lost mid-control. Got a player in cave. Aleksib's going to get pushed back, though, by that Molotov. And once the bomb gets picked up, it is outside of B. And execute perhaps late round for Spirit after they pull a player towards window. Bit's going to get a bit of info there. He sees nothing mid. In they come through cave.
I can't believe the Magics just calls their bluff on that smoke and walks it, man. Rotate arrives, but Bit misses the opportunity, and without that trade coming in, you can't even really begin to justify this. Bit hangs around, will get one. But you can see Wonderful's already saving here. And so NAVI have just got to let this one slip on by, give it a go in the next.
Talk about a bluff called, yeah. Walking through your cave smoke like it means nothing. And
obviously, you know, that's all because of the Molotov down on default, right? To like displace the cave player. Yeah. But just to go, well, he's not pushed in cave. I have all this room. That's crazy from Magics, and it gives them that gnarly double opener. JL kind of got hung out to dry over at long right with Aleksib, forced off the angle by the Molotov. He just wasn't expecting someone to walk that smoke. And so Spirit starts strong. They're out for blood.
Yeah, back to their winning ways.
Terrorists win.
But NAVI have already shown they can dance with the Devils, so At no point will I doubt them in this matchup. They deserve that respect at least, but this, I mean, T-side of Ancients where Spirit do some of their best work in Counter-Strike.
And even for Chopper as a leader, man, that's always been the case. He's had a real affinity to this one since it's been bought into the pool all that time ago.
Another mid-take. NAVI have been winning this, right? Had no issue.
I mean, this goes part and parcel with the theory of trying to shut Donk out of the early game, right? You know the moves he likes to make in middle, how kind of cavalier he likes to run through the smokes and take those early fights.
Spirit, however, are more than capable of doing late round mid pops. It's their bread and butter on this map, so they're not necessarily desperate to play off spawn. They know that more so than almost any other map, you are forced to use smoke molly at the start of every round on CT Ancient in mid. So Donk is happy to run late mid. He won't this time. They'll be regrouping back at B. It's leaving Zontix alone. Only two here. JL's very passive.
Third player rotating over. Oh no.
Just giving JL util.
Just dropping off some util.
Can see retake rounds play towards B. If JL stays towards the back of this cube, he can smoke molly the ramp for the post plant, but Spirit are coming in. Good
blocked around for the time being. There's that dropped off util coming in clutch to slow down the B play. JL getting teed up with a flashbang, but he doesn't see anything on that jiggle. In the meantime, Bit actually got wrecked. I think that's on the wallbang, bought down low. So JL has to make a stand, and it's just the one and done. Bit low on health, same for Ema, who was spammed up in the mid-fight versus Zontix. Suddenly, Wonderful's got to offer up the goods here for NAVI. And he himself is brought down low on his attempt to cross at CT. The T-side domination is not slowing down yet for the Spirit squad. Donk. Another rifle round brushed aside, and now Donk goes hunting. They might have knocked his confidence a little bit on Nuke, but he's really trying to rebuild it here on Ancient.
Dug himself out of the grave. Walking with the rest of us. I can't believe he gets that spray transfer headshot on the second player. And then he walks CT knife out, knowing Wonderful is definitely saving. Calls NAVI completely there.
Terrorists win.
They will hold on to their guns. So, yeah, great damage done through the smoke. I can't believe Spirit take Bit on that spam battle. A1S with no traces, they win it. But these were the shots for Donk. Picture perfect trace to Aleksib. And that's after Spirit get denied like twice on that B hit. They get flashed on ramp, they stop, they get mollied, they wait the molly. After the molly, JL gets flashed in again. They don't peek. No one's overcommitted at any point in that round. Even though it was so easy to be with the smokes down. NAVI, heavy mid-take. They've got a little less to work with here. So Ema's going to throw himself up on Heaven. Naded smoke by Aleksib. They know what Spirit are doing. Aleksib's in cave with the HE. More than prepared for the protocol that Spirit want to smoke Heaven. And they will concede all of the B side.
Look at the near instantaneous reaction from Spirit when this much util comes out towards the lane. You know that a lot of resources were dedicated there. They crept all the way up through A main. But look like instead they want to go back to something over here in middle. Util will get exchanged between Chopper and Donk.
Looks like they want a late mid pop, but there's two players here. This is a nice setup. Wonderful is baiting Bit for the re-peek. Donk mollying deep, Chopper going first. And he needed that instant kill, but the rifle will. Donk gets a Heaven frag at the same time, so somehow it's still a 3-on-3, and it's up to the Deeg on A.
JL's certainly feeling pressure to perform here. Certainly is. He was paramount to the success of NAVI on Nuke, and he won't find a thing in this one. Him and Wonderful even stuck on each other over in Donut. And so that double kill is teed up nicely for Spirit.
To me, this is kind of how Nuke started, in the sense of NAVI know what they're up against. They know what Spirit are doing, but it doesn't mean you can necessarily stop it. Like, the ideas are really nice for NAVI. The way they blocked B in the previous round, they have 3 facing towards mid here in the late round, knowing that Spirit want to pop mid for kills. But when you get, everyone has a plan till they get hit in the face, right? actually converting on the positions is hard when you're playing such talented riflers. But it still started the same on Nuke, didn't it? It still started with NAVI down in the dumps. 10-4 at one point, hold it back to OT, win it. So it's a good sign as far as an 0-5 start is that NAVI know what they're playing against. They've done their homework, no doubt about that. As you said, what was the Blake quote? Donk is counterable?
Yeah.
It's a nice quote.
But even he prefaced that with, you needed to have a sharp aimer online. And right now, that's kind of the big question for NAVI. You know, we were all wowed by JL's performance on that last map, no doubt about it. 40 kills deep at the end of Nuke.
Yeah, 13 multi-kills in that map, 136 ADR from the Lithuanian Lizard.
But will he be able to keep that up, right? Wonderful as well. Paramount in terms of the clutches that he delivered. But he's going to take a while to bring out this AWP with how the game started. He's going to take a while to get switched online. So you continue down the line, right? Aleksib had some great calls in the mid-round. He was clearly prepped and had a game plan going into that one. But it's as we get to the tail end, Ema took a long time to get activated. He was a non-factor in the first half, and even then felt like he was only in the early stages of recovery by the end of the game. And then Bit, kind of the polar opposite story for him individually. He started strong. If you remember on the T side, he was kind of bullying Donk out in the yard and then went quiet as the game went on. So there's some big margins for error here. There's some big uncertainty for NAVI, who were very much carried through that last map by JL and Wonderful. As you look down the line for Spirit, it's a very different story, right? Shiro, he was good almost throughout. I feel like by the tail end of the game, especially on the T side up, it got a little slower, got a little harder for him, but that's to be expected with the map. He's not having any issues here. Magix had his moments in defense of that top site, right? Didn't he? He had a good few multi-kill rounds, especially CT sides, where he would be the savior of the round for Spirit.
And especially towards the tail end on T as well, he was getting some really nice entries. He got them their 12th round when they went into a full four-man A stack. But to me, like the standout player that game out of nowhere is Chopper.
Yeah, Chopper was down there invaluable, man, and also called a great game in this clash of brainy titans of him and Aleksib. Continuing down, Donk actually got humbled a little bit, right? He got put on the back foot. It was clear that NAVI wanted to try and bully him out in the yard, get him doubting some of the hyper-aggressive plays. But I think when you bring him onto Ancient, a home map for the Spirit squad, you are going to struggle to get those same results. Yeah. And I guess last on the line was maybe the weakest point for Spirit. Zontix very much had a bit of a rough go at it there. Didn't really have a chance to get warmed up into the game on the CT side. Ramp was a bit of a non-factor, so in a lot of the rounds he was just sort of watching them play out from the sidelines, and you felt that, I think, as the game went on. He didn't have as many chances to get warmed up into the game as everyone else on his team.
Both ramp players struggled, and that is more of a consideration of the map as well on Nuke. It's a very difficult place to, you know, find multi-kills, so it's not a huge shock. But yeah, Bit, I'd love to see a recovery here. NAVI call a tactical timeout off the back of the tech. They want to get back on track and make sure they get to put everything in its place as we hit round number 6. Guns out, AWP for Wonderful, and Shiro will meet him as well.
Yeah, I'm aware that the other game going on right now has been a bit of a barn burner. So if you're only just joining in, right now we have a situation where NAVI were able to steal back Nuke in one hell of a comeback from 10-4 down, thanks to a huge performance from JL and some key clutches for Wonderful. But here on Ancient, it's a far more one-sided story to open. 5-0 for Team Spirit. NAVI have had some good ideas, but have struggled in executing them on this CT side.
Absolutely. There were similarities to that first map, even in the way that they started for Spirit, but let's see if NAVI can be that difference maker and break their way into this game. I like the aggression. Aleksib taking lane back with his whole team here. 4 players on B. Ema will regress to the A side as we expect to see Spirit going for these late mid takes again. Donk patrolling the jungle. We want to talk AWPs. Wonderful head-to-head v Shiro, 4-2 in his favor with the AWP, 7-6 with all guns. But that AWP only hits a leg. Donk, wearing double Kevlar, will live to fight another day. Wonderful bearing down. Magix can't punish this open position because of Aleksib and JL. So it's 4 Spirit's hand into an A exec.
Ema and Bit, it's the two quieter players for NAVI responsible for the upkeep of this A site. Nade on the smoke, does a little bit of damage, softens up these players, but the timing of the boost is everything here. Bit spotted going up and over, now dropping in side by side with Ema. They're able to hold on. The bomb gets out ahead of Team Spirit. NAVI are looking for their first round in the game here and now.
What control. They just don't overstep a single centimeter any further into Donk on the orb or into Shiro holding him. And both players are severely low. NAVI only deal with the committed players. They give no picks to Spirit anywhere on the map. And even now, playing passive enough, they'll hopefully just allow the save. NAVI want to build their own bank at this point in the game. There is not much incentive to chasing here. So they're on the board. About time.
Yeah, very well done from Bit, honestly, because he's kind of thrown up into a fight. He has no business winning, being on the tail end of that jump up. It felt like he was hitting a bit of an awkward timing, if anything, so very well controlled from him to deal with those first two players out through main. NAVI are on the board. Let's see if they can start chaining a couple together. The fact that that comes down to being a flawless round for them is fantastic for their mileage on this CT side. And Spirit will immediately respond with attack timeout. They're very keen on using these. They don't want many a misstep on their T side of Ancient. And so they don't want that to be NAVI's way back in.
This is a team that can sometimes burn 3 tactical timeouts in the first half of the game, but the games often end in the first half for Spirit, right? Like taking 9 threes pretty considerably, even on T sides. So there's nothing wrong with doing that if the results are there, but we saw them get a little stressed towards the end of Nuke. The second they hit OT, they called out their immediate pause that you get upon hitting bonus play. Right now, Spirit are not feeling immense pressure, despite being a map down. We have Ema going for a hero play up the top. The flash is absolutely perfect from Chopper, right as they come through the smoke. Spirit push Aleksib to a passive position, but he wants to tangle with them, getting through that smoke with JL on a ramp push. This is well timed for NAVI. The pressure is there. Aleksib won't overstep it. 4v4. Wonderful gets orbed. Shiro given another chance. Oh, JL goes back for more.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel that JL has that kind of pressure, the big performance of that last map still on his shoulders. He wants to try and carry that momentum through into this one. But he ends up feeding a kill away that gives up this even round. Suddenly Aleksib forced forward by the util. Donk is swift to silence him.
Ouch.
Bit valiant stand thus far over towards B, but it's wonderful up and leaves. It's Bit or nothing.
Oh,
wrestles with the AK, gets out with the kill.
Ow. And
able to escape capture on the trade up through ramp. Bit goes back in for more. And he will bite off more than he can chew.
They know they have great timing. Almost considered planting it long, but didn't want to risk it. Wonderful was far away. Zontix will walk closer and take the kill, closing the round for Spirit. That was the donut player after all. There was no doubt the Spirit had him right where they wanted him. Great shooting for Donk. Again, just popping through the mid-smoke, dealing with Aleksib after the Molotov. I can't believe Bit kills him inside of the fire on the B-bomb site, but Donk is back, at least for now. Says Spirit burned their timeouts. NAVI 2 used, 7 rounds deep, but in fairness, it hasn't been going their way, has it?
No, I think, this is pretty frustrating for NAVI, because as we've touched upon, they've often had good mid-round moves, good attempts to try and thwart the Spirit game plan, but it's just you can be in the right place, you can do the right things, but at the end of the day, if you're just getting turned upon and getting shut down in those moments, none of that matters. None of the prep you've done matters. Right now, Spirit are just hitting harder, hitting faster. And so NAVI try to wrestle with them for control of the early game, but it's not panned out. All that control has gone the way of Spirit.
Oh, this wallbang is extremely powerful. Very little risk. The only worry is a player coming through the smoke, but they're just walking up the ramp. Try. No flash even comes through. Donk goes 1 for 1, and Bit and JL a valiant hold on this site. They can afford to play retake now. Shiro holding on to the deep long angle with the orb, but still Aleksib even has cave control. This is the kill that Shiro needs. But Bit gets given a second chance at life, and with 3 CTs stacked on the site, this is no easy feat for Spirit.
You're just thinking, don't feed the beast. So NAVI, they won't, but there's Chopper. Rising to the occasion, keeping up appearances is the Chop.
Are they really going to recommit to B late? That feels like such a risk.
I mean, Wonderful's often been out of position in these BT grounds. This time he's left as the sole defender, the one man here. And as he walks down the ramp, he might catch them on the retreat. The timing just isn't there for Wonderful. As he peels around the corner, they are already gone. He's about to get the info at least that lane is clear. And so right now, Ema is prepping for a fight over on A. As you say, because they can be in cave, Wonderful can't justify a rotate. He can't fully react to this info, but he can tell Ema to batten down the hatches and be ready for this play. He will drop the bomb, which is now away from Spirit with 15 seconds. Chopper might have nailed a double kill in the middle of this round, but surely takes it no further than that as Ema sacrifices himself on a platter to lock in NAVI's second.
All for the greater good, running into that Molotov. Chopper, there's a plant available, even with his molly not falling super deep. He could stick it on the right side, but he knows he's probably going to get fought, and that flash makes it so easy for NAVI and for that A-hold of Ema. Solid work. He doesn't get that kill. That looks disastrous, but Spirit, couple of rounds going back the other way. And again, they use his flash to swing mid quick. Ema beating Donk in the head-to-head in a dry fight. I feel like NAVI did that on purpose. They don't hit their deep smoke, and they throw a shallow Molotov. They want that fight there. We even had his teammate lining up of pop flash to fight Donk in middle. That's all by design for NAVI, saying, we missed our smoke. Come get us.
Yeah, you know, it almost makes you wonder, right? In terms of the idea that NAVI feel like Donk can be countered, you kind of know the fights he feels comfortable in. You know the fights he's going to take if he's given the room. So it feels like they're trying to give him that space, only to lock it down and shut him down, put him in a box.
Yeah, I mean, still take that.
They've done it in this round. Ooh. Magic's up through ramp. With jail dead early, suddenly this B defense is just down to 2. Both players over at long. This is not ideal for NAVI, and they lose Ema. The MP9 of Aleksib does what it can, but it shouldn't be enough to regain control. It shouldn't be enough to tempt NAVI in. That nade falling short is a big shame. That would have been the kill to Shiro. That would have been the 2v2 offered up. And with this backstab coming in from Zontix, NAVI's only path is to battle forward. They don't know about the flank yet. And the more time bought for it, the more deadly Zontix gets. Chopper tucked in back at the cave. It's a good stand from Aleksib as he looks to bring NAVI back into this. Zontix now arrives, and it's another clutch attempt for Wonderful. Grabs the kit on the bomb. Quick tap, and Wonderful brings the fight to Zontix. He just keeps on giving NAVI rounds off of his back in another clutch. Wonderful delivers and does right by Aleksib B, who even brings them back into that retake in the first place.
The clutch kid of NAVI, and he looks so good while he does it. He picked up 2 massive returning clutches back-to-back on Nuke, and now he does it again. He doesn't need to fake the bomb there. He knows he's got the 5 seconds of runway for Zontix to rush him, but he goes for it anyway, guaranteeing the round off the kill. And that's a beautiful clutch for Wonderful.
And I mean, dude, if you're NAVI now, you're telling yourselves, okay, this is similar to how Nuke started. It's similar conditions to win the game. Wonderful's done a great job at giving them these rounds in these desperate moments where someone has to step up and not crumble under the pressure, under the weight of clutching against this super Spirit team.
I do love this idea of not, smoking out Donkey in middle for the first time in this map, just so you guarantee the fight as well. That's what it opened up the round. Great shot.
Oh, it looks even more disgusting from Wonderful's POV.
Yeah, and at times it feels like Molotovs in this game are actually harder to look through than CSGO. The argument in CSGO is the closer you are, the better, but it doesn't feel like Valve patched it recently. Oh my god, they just run through the smoke. That's mental. Ema has a great position, but Donk just clears it, pre-fires the corner. The guy just knows something we don't. But on that Molotov conversation, it feels like, that maybe NAVI feel more favored at range to take that fight. There was a recent patch with the consistency of Molotov views, but right now, NAVI, they've got the ideas, that's for sure. They've not got their heads, though, cut off by the Tech 9s. 2 down already. It's not a guaranteed round, especially not when Chopper runs it into the B bomb site.
That bomb's going back towards A. Wonderful. Over here on the AWP, pressure is on. This is essentially a clutch for him that he's got to deliver it. He gets rid of the hero gun. He gets rid of Donk. His teammate falls as he moves in through the spawn, but Wonderful looks to close the net over Team Spirit now. Just misses that timing. And so getting back in a donut, Wonderful doesn't have fights open to him, not yet. He's seen the barrel. He knows what he's got to do here. Zontic's dead, over on Big Box, smoke on the bomb. Wonderful, applying a lot of pressure. He is sticking the bomb. Teammate dead, spammed out from Magix. And so Spirit will recover. They stop Wonderful in his tracks. On his way to another solo 1 round, they lock him down.
Oh, Tech 9s have never felt so brutal. That close clear in mid into the closing smoke spam shots for Spirit. Fantastic work. And this is already running in favor of Spirit, looking for the same result at Katowice, that 9-3 opening T side on Ancient. It feels inevitable, as close as NAVI have gotten in these rounds. Even that clutch for Wonderful is not enough to propel them forward. It will for Spirit. They sprint out mid. Donk taking space. And NAVI with almost nothing to show in this round, just pistols. Azus. Easy clears. They come into Zontix, who gets all 3.
So in this grudge matchup, it's looking to be a repeat, as you say, for Spirit.
Yeah, the difference is, you know, it's completely different maps for NAVI that they take, right? The last time they did this, it was Anubis. And the fact that they don't even want it in this series, you feel like it's a death sentence, but they showcase their experience, their skill on Nuke. They were the ones who banned Anubis for the final choice, giving Spirit Mirage their home map. Right now, they're dealing with the difficulties of the pool. It goes deep for Spirit. So does Chopper again. Blase through the mid-smoke. As his team group on the A side.
Wonderful, here's the steps. Be that first point of resistance as Chopper now closes in from middle. Wonderful offers up the first. Chopper's not able to catch him here. One more man in the back of Donut, but Ema, where's he looking? Wonderful's got to do this alone. Shiro catches one. Magic's waiting for rotates, and if Aleksib gives this up, he's going to be kicking himself. That's the kill that might open this back up for Spirit. And Aleksib, his heart sinks into his chest. He knows he shouldn't be giving those away, but it's as he goes creeping through, trying to offer up assistance. It's that urge to help the team that might dig them a shallow grave here. Missed shot from Shiro. Wonderful, and JL will recover that round. And Wonderful, leaving nothing unsaid in this series, in this matchup. Clutches a dependable point man, and refuses to crumble on this CT side, be it with the rifle, be it with the AWP. You feel like he's good to put these rounds on the board for NAVI.
Yeah, and it feels like NAVI do have such a great understanding of how Spirit like to play these like clutch rounds, these mid rounds, like that 2v2. Spirit don't run the bomb back out of main. They don't want to make it clear. They walk to group mid to go for a kill as a unit. So NAVI go, oh, you want to fight mid? We'll do the same thing, and we'll just battle you in the open. They win both fights. An ugly missed shot for Shiro. And still a good half, but so was the first one on Nuke, and look how that ended up. 8-4, and dare I say, nothing guaranteed here in map 2 of this playoff qualification game. Top 8 of the first CS2 major, so much legacy on the line for these rosters.
I mean, you never forget your first, right? So here we are, Shiro backing up, has support in alongside him. They're going to try and deal with NAVI as they break through the red room. Spirit have got all the bodies here at CT. Ready and willing to fight for this. Wonderful is run down and Bit left as the lone gunman here, 1v4. And Spirit control the bomb. Look at them, sitting on it, refusing to move. Everyone ready to react and
Donk.
swing at a moment's notice. Donk tapped out, but Bit brought down low, 6 HP. Left on the clutcher for NAVI. And he can't win this. There's no way.
It's a safe call, I'll give you that. He'll give it a go. He's holding 4 flanks that will never materialize. Spirit just sit together.
These ones feel the worst, right? Because it is just so inevitable. He knows that this clutch is unwinnable.
Big clutch of the tournament.
And he's hoping that somewhere down the line, Spirit get cocky and give him a fight. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to swing him on 3. The moment noise is made, they're all swinging him at once. And so there it is. Chopper runs it round, and Bit is dead with that pistol secured for Spirit.
That felt more like if a Spirit on CT side, right? It's a lot more difficult to play that way on Nuke, but when you need so much control of different positions. But on CT sides, they love to just group and charge together. It's a pistol round, of course, but Spirit, the rolling death train that just chase each other. Oh my God, he got that midair. Sickening. So let's see how NAVI fare now with no pistol in their pocket, no bomb plant to give them a bye.
You said
And
it earlier
another
on.
10-4
Yeah,
lead.
you said it earlier on how this is very similar tones to Nuke. It's going to have to if NAVI want to recover right there.
The difference is we don't have like one astronomical hero that's still dropping 20 kills in the first half. Like the setup was the same, but this is where Spirit should run over this map.
Well, just trying to min-max their way through the util. Hoping they can get Spirit to use a bunch of it. They're hoping for a bomb plant in towards A just for that extra cash injection. And it's Zontix here who, sure, was a little quiet on Nuke, as we said, largely dodged in the first half, so never really got to warm up into the map. But he's about to have his moment. His time in the sun is now, and it is a mow-down in main. Molly, wonderful, gets out, gets through it, but not for long as Donk arrives on that rotation. Him and Zontix silence the A play. No plant for NAVI. But the guns will be coming out regardless.
Yeah, feeling the stress now for JL, and Donk cool and calm as he often is. No smack talk to send down NAVI's way, not with a map already against them. This is the round that Spirit couldn't get in that previous map that started the comeback for NAVI. If they can shut it out clean and easy, it's as good as GG.
And you can almost see in the cams that JL, oh, hang on a second, fast for wonderful.
Sure there.
Learns about the presence of this AWP and puts a lot of pressure over towards that A side of the map. NAVI are coming through with an explosive first rifle round, but they lose Ema over in mid, trying to cross out in a no man's land, and Zontix will get the better of him now. Him and Donk move into position. Spirit love these late re-aggresses on the CT side of middle. And as NAVI try to deal with that, they sustain even more damage. Big kill for JL to open up a route in towards this B site. But as these mid-rotates arrive, they're going to lock down lane and deny this path to rotate for NAVI. Plant in, a man down, wounded on 2. Bit might have to be a hero here. The only man with health. Wonderful's going to do what he can at shutting down the lane aggression, but he's not given a fight ultimately.
This is still scary for Spirit. They have a man up, but they don't have a lot of control right now. They're taking their time to get in position. Another smoke in the cave. They've got to run through. Shiro's waiting for a kill. He does get it on the trade, but they are simply running out on the clock. It's already at 10 seconds, it feels. Donk's got to go through this one. We need a hero here for Spirit, and all the kills for NAVI until it matters. The last second stick as Spirit squeeze their way back into that retake. Not even close.
Yeah, they felt fine leaving that one down to the wire. It looks dicey, but once they deal with Bit over on long, once Shiro nails that shot, all of that control that Na'Vi had suddenly shrinks right down, and you're only worried about ramp, you're only worried about the bomb site, and so it becomes very easy for Spirit there. That's why we say, like, that was the round where Bit had to go huge, and even though he sits top in the charts for Na'Vi alongside Wonderful, the one and done just wasn't enough, especially not with the HP on Wonderful and JL. And so that rifle round for Na'Vi, similar case to the rest of this game. They've had good ideas, but failure to live up to it.
Oh dear.
In the moments of the fights, it all comes crumbling down for Na'Vi. Magic's at ramp, traded after the first. But here's the reaction. Zontix hopping his way up into the heavens. It was him and Donk pressuring this in the last round that was the turning point for Spirit, where they shut down these players moving in. But this time it's a lot harder for Zontix to get much mileage out of it.
The option to reinforce B was there. He could have just crept into cave. Now it's only Chopper on this B bomb site. And with Shiro often starting A on the AWP, they should know this. Does this just route them into a safe B hit? Or do they want Ima to lurk around? The danger of this is it can leave you in a 2v2 with no info. Right now, Spirit are the ones to doubt themselves. Chopper checking red, going back to B, and calling for support at the right time.
Yeah, they just want to group. Take some map control together.
Oh, this is so scary. But Na'Vi have made the right move. It's going to have to be a retake. We've got Kit, we've got full util. It's viable for Spirit.
Oh,
they just don't know they're
timing. He's missed the timing on them getting up ramp. Oh, there was the real chance to catch it the second time around.
Great position.
But it gets away from Chopper. And so Bit at long, similar to last round, power position held by Bit. Shiro is once again watching it with the AWP. If you're Na'Vi, this is the round you can't let get away from you. This is the round that's meant to be safe. Chopper opens it. Bit is feeling that much more pressure. No! Chopper low on health, but still giving up the goods. And it's left to Ima now. A 2v3 for Team Spirit as they look to run away. With Ancient, bomb's not planted for Ima, and Shiro's nade will seal the deal on that round. Chopper, take a bow, my friend. That is beautiful from him. He missed all those timings as they get up into the site, but he still finds his way back in. He finds his impact with a double kill to bring Spirit back into a retake in a round that should have been done.
And Bit learned his lesson. He didn't even peek long because they're up a man. He doesn't want to give Shiro a 1-for-1. He doesn't want to give that AWP a kill on the line. He's right. That's a good play, but absolute whiffs. Wonderful just wide swings on timing when he can play off of Bit's contact. Those are some mistakes in the post plant for Na'Vi and some ugly shooting. And it's come at the worst time. Yeah. No comeback to materialize today. 12-4. Spirit, business as usual.
I mean, that's the round that like sucks all the wind out of your sails, right? You kind of did everything correctly. You nailed the game plan, but then the moment you get to the post plant, it just falls apart. You know you should be winning them if you're Na'Vi.
It already felt inevitable. Now it feels undeniable that Mirage will be where we settle this series. Can JL prolong this map? He's found 1-2 entries into the B site, and he's got Chopper by his side. Gone. Shiro hits one with the AWP, but they're up ramp already.
You know, this is kind of a disgruntled Na'Vi coming the way of Shiro. A little looser, a little more freestyly. They're going to try and join up with Bit.
Any 2v5ers?
Shiro nails his shot. It's turning around, isn't it? Shiro's going to start to make his way back over towards A. Right as Donk hears these footsteps.
Oh, he's going to cut the bomb down.
The aggression of Bit, while it's a well-founded idea for Na'Vi, it won't leave Aleksib with cover. It won't leave him with support. He is alone in this as he walks in to Donk's den. He's invited Donk in. That plant sends him into Bit. And so now it's down to Shiro in the clutch.
Oh, yeah. It's a percentage play. It was a lovely 2v5 attempt for Spirit. They made it interesting, but with Shiro smoked out a spawn, and wanting this AWP for next, still have to save. He grabs every little bit of morsel he can on the ramp, but it's Na'Vi finding something off of JL's heroics up ramp. Double entry with Wonderful to help him. And a very scary round where if Bit is looking CT not brokey, Donk moves in and probably ends this game.
Terrorists
Yeah, if you're NAVI here, you know, bare minimum, you just want a chance to like try and get a few more people switched online. You want JL to have some moments like that where he wins a couple of rounds down the stretch and he kind of brings himself back into the game mentally. I want Ema to step up. He's been very underwhelming across this series. He went on like a miniature path to recovery at the end of Nuke, but nothing to write home about. He's just been looking a little lost in some of these rounds. And at 5 and 14, you know, that's just not good enough to beat Team Spirit, not by a long margin.
I mean, he was brought in to be the star of this NAVI roster, and he's yet to deliver. And sure, even if NAVI are in a position where they can go 3-0, they can get to the playoff stage, like if he doesn't have that Paris-esque performance in the playoffs, that might just be the end of NAVI's road. I think we all want more from Emo because we know he can deliver it. Fast through mid now for NAVI. Shiro smoked Molly, pressured in the red room, has to give it up. And NAVI, this is just a means to an end. They're going back for a B hit. They're going to leave Emo on a lurk.
They've dumped a lot of their util here at NAVI. Like all of it, apart from this smoke and Molly on JL and Bit.
Oh, this timing's perfect. Aleksib's going to get a free kill on this B site.
Yeah, crossing back in. And so that opens up the end goal for NAVI. Ema getting activated on the flank. This would be a nice confidence booster if he can swing it out through red. Spirit are already saving.
Yeah.
And so Ema doesn't want to go too soon that he tempts them back in for the round. But if he could be here to get activated on the hunt and remove some of these guns from play, that's nice for NAVI.
Pit's like, I'm not planting. No shot. Okay. I'm not worried yet. Spirit,
they're not moving.
Spirit are going to set up for more hunting, and if NAVI give them more kills, they'll go for it. But yeah, no, okay. Not even going to peek along with the AWP. It's allowed. Spirit will give NAVI the round off of the entry. That's awkward. Magic jiggled cave, but Aleksib was really wide and he didn't see him. And so like he's jump spotting B. Aleksib just hears it, walks out of B. But NAVI, the last couple of rounds they've won, they've just kept really basic. It was JL just dueling up ramp, and then NAVI go for a deep mid take. They put Ema red, and then they go back and hit B.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. It kind of, you know, NAVI have kept it basic to get to this point, but that's also been kind of allowed by Spirit, who have lent a bit more into the gambles in these last few rounds, and that comes with the liberty of being up on 12 and having your opponent be so far behind you. I think the worrying thing is, especially with the timeout coming in now, if they go back to some of this mid control, some of the double upset of Donk and Zontix there, suddenly you're getting, you know, the space that you can play in if you're NAVI that much more restricted, and you might find yourself at the whim and mercy of a Donk Zontix heaven swing in the mid round, which is not where you want to find yourself.
Think about how oppressive they were at popping through that mid smoke. NAVI could get heaven for free if they wanted it, but they could never get comfortable in that position because at any moment Donk can just come, you know, blinding out middle. So yeah, Spirit, a couple of gambles, because like you said, with that scoreline, they know they can sit back and play 3 on a site, and you know, you only need one gamble to come up to close this game. But now with a tactical timeout, it begs the question, what is Spirit going to show us here? 12-6. Spirit's pick, and Mirage waiting as our finale for our second playoffs team here at the Copenhagen Major.
Well, here's that Donk Zontix move for Spirit down in mid.
Yeah.
They take the control early, they deny NAVI any foothold of the map there. Miss shot from Shiro, and Wonderful tries to punish this. Donk swinging back out in middle is dead right away. Aleksib and Ema both get kills apiece, and so suddenly NAVI right where they want to be. 5 on 2. With Shiro leaving the A site, with him completely abandoning it, just watching from the CT spawn, he can get locked out by one smoke, and that's a smoke that NAVI will throw in every time. So this is probably another save building here for Spirit. You can't justify going for this one. NAVI continue streaking these rounds together, and they're getting cleaner. That was meant to be the Spirit return to form, back to their mid play, back to the kind of 2 stars of this map for Spirit. Putting NAVI away, and that's not what's happened. They got locked out of middle. Chopper, who tried to react and help out, was shut down in heaven. Shiro is creeping in.
I don't want to sound the alarm, but this is actually a little worrying. There's still Wonderful nearby, but the fact that Shiro's here means he's going for it. That molly forced out by Wonderful. Man, Shiro has 5 deaths. He's still going for that play. It's the last thing Na'Vi would expect, but Wonderful keeps his finger to the pulse and doesn't overlook this round. Aleksib walking through that smoke, and Wonderful says, nah, I don't like it. He's too close. I like this. Shiro gave it a go. But not only is it getting clean for NAVI, it's getting expensive for Spirit. No alarms to sound just yet, but even if they're just consolidation rounds for NAVI, they are looking nice.
Yeah, even the fashion in which you're winning them, you know, these are culminating in bomb plants. You're kind of getting all the space you're looking for. These are rounds where you're not just like out-aiming Team Spirit and kind of besting them on an individual level. This is the team-based Counter-Strike that Aleksib's talked about.
Yeah.
And so that's a feel-good kind of situation for Na'Vi at least, that they've gone on this little streak. But over time, they're going to start thinking, well, what if it's more than just a little resurgence? What if it's more than just a few rounds in a lost game? They might already be arriving at that conclusion, because bomb back over towards the spawn. Spirit will not be competitive in this round, or at least they shouldn't. As Aleksib gets the spot that they're coming down the ramp, he tucks in and he's got support, layers of it, over towards the lane. That's a good chunk of info for Aleksib B on the jump check. Na'Vi are going to be slow to be, reacting to that. That's the one downside of this. They had a lot of resources over towards this B site, so weren't able to move swiftly into the A hit. But it slowly is coming together.
Yeah, Magic's gave Donk this AK, but he'll just have to hold on to it for one more round. 8-12 now. I mean, if this did happen, what a monumental look that would be for Na'Vi. It would, especially with the numbers they're putting up individually. Like you said, not like the JL show of Nuke. Bits had his moments, JL has as well. Wonderful pulling in clutches on that CTA WP. But more importantly, to come back in this position on the T side would be a lot of credit to Blade and Aleksib and that cohesive calling from the Finn, trying to take his first international lineup to the major playoffs. As we said, last time he was there was with Ents. It was Berlin, it was Katowice. Not in G2 NIP nor Na'Vi has Aleksib fielded that same result. But I mean, even if Na'Vi don't win today, it feels inevitable with their form. But why waste an opportunity when it's staring you right down in the face? 12-8. Come this far. Spirit have a response. Again, that 1-2 punch in middle.
Yeah, I mean, Na'Vi's greatest challenges are still very much ahead of them in this game. Not bad to have gotten off to a spot where you're even considering the comeback, but you're going to have to deal with a couple of big blows like this one, where they lose Ema and Wonderful early. And so now they've got to go back to basics. A B pop up through the ramp, maybe. Magix is forced off the angle, so the room is given over at least.
Oh, this flank down ramp will be massive for Chopper. He's got a very good timing, even though Magix is getting pressured though. 3-on-3, that's an equalizer.
Oh, he's just look away. Chopper doesn't capitalize, doesn't go for it right away. He's waiting for the double doors. He's fearing that someone is left behind, but that's not the case. Na'Vi are grouped.
He wants his team to get in position as well. They sure just got smoked off in spawn. At this point now, Na'Vi will consider every position.
If they're waiting for that smoke, this is going to be one of these last-second retakes. You've seen Spirit win these before, but this time they lose that first man in. JL, Dome, Zontix, Shiro's already running for the hills. This one is going to elude Team Spirit. They might have started with that man advantage in middle, but it's swiftly replied to from Na'Vi, who run it up ramp. And now it's a 3-round game.
Unbelievable.
With the money on the line for Spirit as well. This one has got some legs on it, and it's a cold look of determination across the board from Na'Vi. Aleksib's not celebrating yet. None of these round wins are worth celebrating. That will come when overtime's locked in.
And even then, Charles should just begin. The Spirit's T side that is the one that beckons you, puts the fear in you, but right now Na'Vi are replicating it almost. It's a 3-on-4 after trading out Donk in middle, being won by NAVI. Changing the pace, smoking the molly halfway through. Ema sends it. Donk just escapes in time. The window break comes in. Zontix gets his kill.
I have a nade for this.
Untraded though.
Wonderful doesn't. Not able to get that trade.
That's a good spot.
Aleksib's grabbed the info.
Spirit are feeling the pressure. They've dumped a lot of util in this round. They've got one smoke left. But they do have the advantage. A group on the B-bomb site. This feels like the predictable outcome for NAVI, who need a pick. Spirit playing retake again. Look at them all situated back on short and long.
If NAVI win this, the world's their oyster. This will be their second round in a row that they've had to pull back in a man disadvantage. And if they do that, you know, sky's the limit. But it's not going to be easy. They know it's not going to be easy. Chopper drops this smoke. That's going to waste precious time for NAVI.
It's inevitable. They know it's B.
And so 3 strong here for Spirit. They respond accordingly. Zontix still watchful eye on mid as well, making sure that rotate can't happen at the drop of a hat. Out through middle into the A site. This will be the B play. Boost up for Wonderful, nets the equalizer. How much further can NAVI take this as the third man is pulled over for Spirit? More reinforcements for this B site. JL and Aleksib trying to keep the dream alive for NAVI, but it's looking to get snuffed out by Donk, who swings it wide. And with his battle cry, the score will be settled on Mirage. Spirit put a stop to NAVI on that comeback.
Yeah, you got to give it to NAVI. They have really been holding on in this series right now. They pull a huge comeback on Nuke. It looked like something was materialized.